So, Mikey, how's that pretty wife?
She's good, Benny. She's good.
It's good to have a pretty wife to come home to. Little boy, how old is he now?
He's 6.
That's nice. So how come I don't see you recently?
You know, man.
No, Mikey, I don't know. I don't see people I'm in business with. I start to get lonely. My loneliness is funny to you, huh?
No, Benny.
But you're laughing.
No, I ain't laughing.
When I get lonely, I start thinking maybe these people I'm in business with don't like me anymore.
What are you talking about? I like you.
That's not what I hear, Mikey. Mikey?
I like you, Benny.
I hear you like other people. For example, I hear you like this attorney, this guy Berman. I don't hear you laughing, Mikey.
No. I mean...
Berman is dangerous. He's short, but he's dangerous. And he has ambition, and he's using it against me.
Hey, look, I got nothing to do with Berman.
Don't lie to me.
I'm not lying. I'm not lying. You gotta believe me.
I gotta believe you. Nobody rats me out, Mikey.
Hey, Benny, I swear.
Nobody.
I swear on my kid.
Nobody.
Benny, come on. Come on, man. Benny. God.
Mikey Jenkins, his wife, and 2 others were assassinated at approximately 5 o'clock this morning at a bar in Annapolis, Maryland.
What about the boy?
Unhurt. Apparently, the boy slept through the attack. Benny Franco's been the subject of a 2-year narcotics investigation by Assistant U.S. Attorney Josh Berman. He spent $12 million and has yet to land an indictment. He put the tap on Jenkins' phone.
But he didn't put Jenkins in a safe house?
Jenkins wasn't in the witness program yet. Berman wasn't sure how much solid information he had to offer. They were going to meet.
And Franco found out about the meeting? Why does Berman want us involved?
He doesn't, but the Bureau does. They've given us full authority to investigate. They're not sure if Franco was responsible, and they don't want Berman spending more time and money if a case can't be made.
Dad.
Hello, Samantha.
Hi. You remember Billy Malone, my father, Walter Anderson?
It's been a long time, sir.
John Grant?
Hi.
How do you do?
Nice to meet you.
Half an hour.
Yeah. Okay.
Good to see you again, sir.
This is a surprise.
Merry Christmas. Better late than never. I have something for Chloe in the car.
Thank you.
So...
Why don't you come to my office? I wish you would have let me know that you're coming.
I didn't know myself until a few days ago. You know how my schedule is.
Well, it's just that we have this case in Maryland, so...
Could you meet them there later?
No.
I was hoping to take you and Chloe to dinner tonight.
Well, I'm not sure when we'll be back, so...
Who'll stay with Chloe?
Angel stays with Chloe, Dad.
Sorry my being here's upset you.
You haven't upset me. It's just that, you know, the world doesn't come to a grinding halt just because you decide to resurface.
But this is about Christmas. I was in New Zealand presenting a paper, Chemotaxis, with respect to microbial pathology.
You promised Chloe that you would come.
I said I would try. You, of all people, should understand. At a moment's notice, you drop everything. Chloe stays with Angel.
Don't turn this around on me.
I know. Would it be all right if I saw Chloe?
Of course it would be all right. You don't have to ask my permission. She's a granddaughter. Bye, Dad. I mean, he's in New Zealand or wherever, and he just shows up without any warning. I mean, what am I supposed to say?
How are things in New Zealand?
The beer distributor came by to make his delivery. The place was wide open. Our officers found the boy in the back room.
Did he see anything?
He was asleep. We couldn't find any other relatives, so he's with his caseworkers at Child Services. Now, this is Mike Jenkins, his wife Angie. That's her sister Rebecca Dove, and her husband Al. He and Mike own the place together. Now, we checked into the Jenkins residence, such as it is, and it had been broken into.
Before or after the murders?
About an hour before.
I can pretty well confirm that the cause of death is bullets. .22 caliber, judging from the entry wounds.
Close range execution style to take out 4 people. I'd say at least 2 trigger men.
Benny Franco is suspected in ordering half a dozen hits over the past 3 years.
Look at their positions. 2 couples facing each other. These bodies have been arranged.
Professional shooters with hidden gun.
Yeah.
You think Franco ordered this?
The U.S. attorney on this is a headline-grabbing schmuck, and he's been blaming my department for the fact that he can't get an indictment. So nothing would make me happier than to have them kick him out on his Princeton-educated ass.
Forced to face each other, look each other in the eye. It's as if the killer is passing judgment.
Which would mean they weren't from out of town. They knew the victims.
Where was the child found?
So you didn't tell him? Okay, thank you. We'll be in touch.
What?
Child services still hasn't told the kid. He seems to be in shock. He won't say a word.
Well, Salinger said that he was asleep when they got here. I guess he could have woken up, seen what had happened, and gone back to sleep as a way of shutting it all out.
We've got to question him.
The little boy needs time.
Sam.
I'm not going to force him to relive the most traumatic moment of his life.
The Bureau's given us 48 hours to clear up the case, so pass it off to the locals. And Berman will run right over them, with no concern for the welfare of that kid. We should at least see him. If he's not ready to talk, you make that call.
All right.
Peter, honey, this is Dr. Waters.
Hi, Peter. What's this you're drawing? Is that your bear? Pretty cute bear. Peter, what grade are you in?
I was assigned this case about 6 months ago. Classic neglect. His parents were incapable of supervising themselves, let alone him.
More charges filed?
Well, you know the system, Dr. Waters. We are doing a search for relatives who'd be willing to take him.
Was he assigned to anyone else before you?
Yes, Annette Warren. She tried so hard to have him placed in a foster situation, but she never could. She kept pressing the issue with the supervisors, and they finally let her go.
And where is she now?
Florida, I think. You know, he's playing with some of the kids just after lunch. Soiled his underpants. He's never done that before.
Laura, has anyone ever come here and tried to pick Peter up? Someone who claimed that they were a friend of the family or a relative?
We never release a child to anyone without prior arrangement. And even then, we ask for 3 sources of ID.
Right. All right, well, look, if he says anything at all, would you?
Then I'd really love to hear it. He was there, Dr. Waters. If you take a crack at him, we might get a description of Benny Franco or find out the killers mentioned his name.
I'm not going to take a crack at a 6-year-old boy who just lost his parents.
Well, I'm not saying today. Whatever you think. Day after tomorrow? A week?
Look, forcing him to submit to some arbitrary timetable could cripple him for the rest of his life.
I got a $12 million court case bearing down on me.
And no charges to file.
And that's why you're here. To confirm the fact that it was a professional hit by a leader of a drug cartel. Do it and you can be home by dinner.
Professional killers don't arrange the bodies of their victims.
Well, maybe this time they did.
You said that Mike Jenkins was only part of your arsenal.
A big part. And Franco scared off bigger guys than Jenkins for just this reason, fear of reprisal. You know how it works.
I know that prior to this massacre, you were looking at years of paperwork and appeals. Now you smell blood.
Think of it as justice for the kid's father.
And a nice promotion for you.
I need to know when the boy can answer questions. I can't work maybes.
No one is talking to that little boy until I say so.
Who gave you the authority to say that?
The Bureau.
Fine. Tell me it's your professional opinion that this was a contract killing with no psychological component and nobody ever has to talk to him.
That's a lot of crap, Berman.
You protect the boy, and our case against Franco goes on unimpeded. Everybody wins. Dr. Samantha Waters.
Sam.
Dr. Waters.
It's my professional opinion that there is no psychological component to the murders of Mike and Angela Jenkins.
And you'll testify to it, under oath.
Yes.
See you in court.
really believed this was about drugs, we'd be on the plane.
I may have killed his parents in order to reach out and save him, or rescue him.
But you're willing to perjure yourself.
Perjure myself against what? My own opinion?
It's not your opinion, Sam. And don't play semantics with me. You regard protecting Peter as the greater good. Maybe it is. But 4 people are dead. They may not have been society's finest, but they're dead anyway.
Well, what do you want me to do?
Talk to him.
No, I tried.
Try again.
No, he's too vulnerable, Billy.
And the threat is more than psychological. Are you willing to leave him vulnerable to the people who killed his parents so they could rescue him? Because if we allow them to go free, that's exactly what we're doing.
We weren't sure there were any surviving relatives, but we did find an uncle in Delaware. He's driving in this afternoon. Hey, Peter.
What is it? You're building a bridge? It's a pretty cool bridge. Peter, do you know what happened to your mom and dad?
They laughed.
Who laughed?
Both of them. He did. And she did.
A woman laughed? When did she laugh, Peter? When?
It was quiet again.
Okay.
We had a deal, Dr. Waters. And you were the one who wanted to keep the kid out of it.
He heard a woman's voice.
I don't care if he saw stars.
The point is, there was a woman involved in the shooting. Or at least she was there after it was over. When was the last time you heard of a woman hit her?
He didn't see a woman, so it could have been a radio. It could have been a man in tight shorts. The point is, we had a deal.
Now the deal's off.
If our profile is correct, then this has nothing to do with Frank.
What does it have to do with? I'm an inquiring mind. I want to know.
It may have to do with Peter himself. With the idea of rescuing him.
From what?
From his parents. There was a woman, Annette Warren, who was fired from Child Services for trying to file neglect charges against his parents. Now, if she was that woman and she had a partner...
Well, then why didn't she take him?
They might not have known he was asleep in the office. There was a break-in at the Jenkins home shortly before the murders. They were probably looking from there.
4 murders, and they're about the rescue of a 6-year-old boy who didn't get rescued at all. A dozen people in this office have busted their ass for 2 years to develop a case that'll stick Benny Franco, whose drugs have murdered hundreds of children, in jail for the rest of his natural life. That's the only rescue I'm interested in. So, you can leave your profile on my assistant's desk, and it'll be given the due diligence it deserves.
There was trace evidence under the nails of 2 of the victims, hair and skin, so there might have been a fight before they were killed. I'll have the results tomorrow. I'm going down to the Morgan Talk Shop.
All right.
When was the last time you saw your sister?
Oh, it's been quite a while.
Mr. O'Connor, Dr. Samantha Waters.
Hi, how are you?
Mr. O'Connor is Peter's uncle. Please, go ahead.
I wrote my sister off 3 years ago. I haven't seen her since. 4 times she promised to go into rehab, 4 times I gave her the money, and each time she just used it to buy stuff. But, well, Peter, it's a different story. I mean, that boy has suffered enough.
The people who killed your sister and brother-in-law may try to come after your nephew, Peter.
We think that she may have been killed in order to free Peter from that environment.
We've alerted the Delaware authorities to arrange for protection for you at your home for at least the next several weeks.
Here are your identification documents, Mr. O'Connor, and thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Let's get you on your way.
You'll be in good hands.
Well, say goodbye to him for me.
I will. Thank you.
Bye. A killing team usually forms an emotional bond. The fact that this team is comprised of a male and a female probably means that that bond is more intense.
They're married?
I don't know. They certainly trust each other enough to take part in multiple murders. They also share the ultimate goal of rescuing Peter from parents they consider unfit.
Yeah, Annette Warren. This is the caseworker who was fired. She applied for a job in Orlando 2 months ago and was turned down, and that's the last she was heard from.
Could be former drug users who have seen the light. Nothing more religious than a former sinner. Might explain how they knew Mike and Angela.
Probably in their 30s, the time when issues of their own parenting are likely to emerge.
They're very egocentric. They were willing to risk discovery at the scene of the crime in order to make the point that they were passing judgment on their victims. They probably have an inflated sense of their own parenting abilities.
You think they have kids?
I doubt it. They may not be able to.
Which is why they think they'd be good at it.
All right, so we got a male and female Caucasian in their 30s, possible record of drug use that would connect them with the victims. That's a place to start. Salinger.
Sir, the boy and his uncle have crossed into Delaware. We've handed it off to the Delaware PD.
Thank you, Philip.
David, it's been a pleasure. We'll keep working the case from Atlanta. Get the DNA reports to you as soon as possible.
Here we are, buddy.
So you like your new sweatshirt? I got some other cool clothes for you. Come on. I know you like orange drink. We got a half a dozen bottles in the pantry. And I heard that green apples are your very favorite, so I went to the store this morning and I got you a whole bunch of them. Hey, we are gonna have a really great time, Peter. Hey, honey.
Peter, how you doing, buddy? Huh? Listen, why don't you go on inside and make yourself at home, okay? This is your home now.
Come on.
So, how was your stay in Delaware?
Brief.
We did it, darling. We did it.
So we're gonna have lunch at 1 o'clock. You and your dad alone? When I have lunch with my mom, it helps to have a third party around to mop up the blood.
That's because you and your mother actually say what you feel.
Oh, well, you make that sound like a good thing. Oh, and dig this. I got the DNA probability statement on the hair and skin scrapings found under the victim's nails. Both samples carry genetic information inherited from the same mother. Our killers are brother and sister.
Brother and sister hit squad.
No, brother and sister rescue squad. I mean, that's why everything that we thought about them, the implicit trust, the intensity of the emotion, it's all amplified by the fact that they're siblings. Billy, they're going to go after Peter. Killing his parents was only half the job. They're going to want to claim their prize.
I'll make sure O'Connor gets round-the-clock security. Get me the Delaware State Police.
Right away, sir.
They wanted someone to rescue. Someone to save from bad parents, so they created an orphan. Billy, they may be orphans themselves. That's where they cemented their bond, in foster homes and institutions where they realized it was them against the world.
Malone. Hang on. Child welfare in Annapolis.
Yes, this is Samantha Waters. Yes, I left 3 messages. All right, thank you. Laura signed Peter out of the facility, and no one's heard from her since. All of her contact numbers have been disconnected.
Let's get to Annapolis.
Darling, you have got to quit smoking now that he's here.
I will. No, he's asleep. Again. You think that's normal, Nikki? I mean, for a 6-year-old.
He's been through an ordeal. You have to be patient.
I set the computer up for him, I turned around and he was out. You sure he's not defective?
Now, would I have chosen him if I thought he was less than we deserve?
No. You know, I worry that we left him too long with them.
I know how to raise a child. I've seen for years now how not to do it. Combine that with your artistic skills, who better to help him realize his full potential?
Certainly not those degenerates who gave birth to him. Nikki, you are going to make the most wonderful mother.
You couldn't ask for a better father. It smells fabulous.
I thought I'd make something special, you know? First dinner together, crab salad vinaigrette, Cornish hen with oyster stuffing, artichoke souffle, and cherries jubilee. That's for you. What? Nikki, what?
Darling, I love you. But his taste needs time to develop. I think Franks and beans would be more appropriate.
Franks and beans?
Now, don't get upset.
No.
Darling, you know what happens when you get upset?
I should have thought of that. It was stupid.
Baby, it wasn't. I can't stand to see you suffer. Do you want me to get you pills?
They don't work anymore. There's only one thing that helps. God, that was stupid of me, Nikki. I should have thought of it.
It was sweet. It was thoughtful. It was kind. All the things you were.
Oh, Nikki. What would I do without you?
You're never gonna get the chance to find out.
Here you are, man. More coffee, sir? Yes, ma'am. I'm sorry, sir. Still no word from your daughter.
Thanks. Thanks a lot.
You're welcome.
There were no pictures on Laura's desk. There were no pictures anywhere in her office, which suggests that she has no family.
If they wanted to create an orphan, why Peter? Psychological or physical abuse that might have been inflicted by his parents, he's likely to be seriously damaged.
That's the point. They would only pick a child who came from the same environment that they did. They would see in him the same potential that they had to rise above a bad beginning.
Thank you. Annette Warren, Peter's former caseworker, died in a plane crash 2 months ago.
More good news?
I went back through Laura Stevenson's certification records with Child Services, and there are discrepancies with the listed dates of previous employment, her educational background. I mean, she falsified her records. Laura Stevenson doesn't exist.
She arranged Peter's transfer to his uncle.
It wasn't his uncle. That was her brother.
John, get Clarksburg, West Virginia, the National Repository.
You bet. You know, the bar's a public place. There's hundreds of prints. There's no way we're gonna...
Did they dust the bodies?
What do you mean?
The bodies were placed in position. That means the killers would have had to touch them. We might be able to get a print off an article of clothing, an item of jewelry.
Or their eyes. Have Grace dust their eyes. They were facing up to their sins with their eyes open. The killers may have had to force the lids to stay up.
Peter! I thought we'd go by the library and pick out some books. Would you like that? Here, look. They're your favorites. The green ones.
Not green.
Oh, yeah, I took the skins off, but they're the green ones. Go ahead and try them, you'll see.
They're red.
Sweetheart. Why would Mom tell you they were green if they weren't?
You're not Mom.
Well, I'm your new mom. And Anthony's your new dad. Honey, look at me. Mike and Angela couldn't take care of you anymore, and they want what's best for you. And, I mean, isn't this a nicer place to live? What's best for you is for us to be together. And we're all going to be very happy.
You reading me? Hello? You reading me?
What do you got, Gracie?
Nothing. I just always wanted to say you reading me. They definitely touched the victims' faces. I'm lousy with smeared prints on the forehead, the nose, the eyelids. Maybe I'm getting something. It's more complete than I thought. A couple of breaks here and there, but all things considered.
Send me a high-res scan, at least 2K over the T3.
10-4.
Virus.
Over and out.
In a perfect world, we'll be able to start scanning those prints within an hour.
Thanks, George.
Well, things could be worse, couldn't they? I mean, at least these people, whoever they are, want the boy to be safe. Probably be better parents than the ones he had.
Until he acts out. They're too egocentric to blame themselves. They'll blame him. And then he'll become expendable.
This isn't working.
We just need to give him some time, baby.
What if he's not the right one?
He's ours now, Anthony. I chose him.
A decision into which I had no input. I don't want to be saddled with him if he's not the right one. You know what I mean?
Yes, you know what? I do know what you mean. You don't want this to work out. Look, he is no threat to you. If we even think about abrogating our responsibility, we are no better than they were.
No, we are better. But he is not. Nikki, there is something wrong with him.
He's the perfect choice.
He's not strong enough.
Neither were you.
No, I was. See, I was strong enough to kill that old bastard. Strong enough to free us both. There is something wrong with him. It was a mistake.
No!
Please, don't be angry with me, Nikki.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Please don't be angry with me. You will always be the most important thing.
You will.
You will.
That's right. We will.
Mom? 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 Mom?
Peter. Darling. Baby, it's all right. You're all right.
I want to go home.
It's okay, sweetheart. You are home. We're all together.
No, Mom!
Shh, baby, I'm right here.
I don't know. You're not my mom.
Now, Peter, don't you ever say that again. Anthony.
Oh, God. I can't stand it. It wasn't supposed to be like this.
We just need to give him a little bit more time.
Time for what? What, so he can hit you again? Nikki, look, as long as I'm alive, nobody is ever gonna hit you.
Easy, baby.
Listen to me. He doesn't understand what we're doing. He doesn't appreciate all we've been through. The planning, building him a home.
Easy. Baby, he's just a little boy.
He was supposed to be perfect. Oh, God. We're better off without him.
Don't say that.
Look, we were never like this before. We never argue.
We never had anyone come between us. Nikki, you promised me, you said nobody would ever come between us, but he has. Now, you know I'm right. He's not the one. Look, this isn't our fault, sweetie. We cannot let him come between us. Not after all we've been through.
We've run 13,000 prints in under 2 hours. No, it would have taken over a week in the days before optical scanning. Of course, you know, for every minute that goes by, the chances of finding a match decrease exponentially. Is anyone hungry? I didn't have any lunch today.
Oh my God, I was supposed to have treatment.
We've beefed up security at the airports, the train, the bus stations. All the major roads blocked off.
Things got a little crazy and I lost track of time. We're back in Annapolis, so I'll just, you call me or I'll call you when I get back. I'm sorry, Dad. Okay. Bye.
I have to believe she's changed her identity along with her name.
Oh, ow! Hi! Oh, my God, we got a match. Bailey.
Their real names are Nicole and Anthony Fleming. When Anthony was 12, he killed their father. To stop him from abusing Nicole, their mother had died 2 years before.
They were separated following the murder, spent the next 3 years in and out of foster homes, finally reunited at a state institution in New Jersey. But which one?
Still looking.
That's where their union began. Where they realized as long as they had each other, they had everything.
Peter? Sweetheart? I'm not angry that you hit me. Just sort of hurt a little bit on the inside, you know? But I understand. I have to go out for a few minutes. I have to do some grocery shopping. But Anthony will be here. He's lying down in his room with the door shut until his headache goes away. So you just try to let him rest, okay? Peter, it's gonna be okay. You be good.
I got it. The orphanage where Anthony and Nicole were first reunited after being separated, it's in Clementon, New Jersey.
Yeah, but I doubt that they would go there. Anyway, they don't need to run. They know how the system works. Their juvenile records are sealed, so they're protected.
You think they'd be using their real names?
Yeah, I do. I think that they're trying to reclaim their childhood. They wouldn't do to Peter what was done to them, taken from his home.
Check phone company records, electric company. I want an actress. We're here in town.
You got it. It's a curious fact, but the cuckoo never builds a nest of her own. Instead, she uses some other bird's nest. And destroys it. Then, she replaces it with one of her own. Now, the cuckoo egg looks so much like the other egg that her shocking trick is never discovered even by the owners of the nest. In this case, Mr. and Mrs. Hedgesmith.
My headache's gone now. I know you're disappointed. Look, it's back to the way things are supposed to be. Just you and me. Nikki, those people, His parents, they were animals. Nick, he wasn't going to survive anyway. What we're doing, it's the best thing for him. Please, please. Come on, I hate seeing you cry. Nick. All right. All right.
Turn the gas off and get the hell out of here.
Yes, sir. We need oxygen.
Fire department, paramedic!
Got it? Yeah.
Here's oxygen, sir.
Okay, you got it?
I'll turn it on.
Okay.
Go.
He's safe.
We'll never be able to outrun them. You know what that'll mean. They'll separate us, Nick. We won't be together.
It can happen again.
They're gone. The back door was open. We found that car in the alley out back. I'd say they're on foot in the neighborhood.
Set up a perimeter within 10 or 12 blocks.
You can catch one of them, the other one will probably surrender.
All right.
You know I can't live without you. I'm sorry about yesterday, Dad. I really am.
I understand. Work is work. Did it end satisfactorily?
Hasn't really ended.
Thank you. I'm thinking about getting an apartment in town. A refuge from the winters in D.C.
That would be great. I mean, Chloe would love that.
Would she?